If you're looking to build a deeper connection with your audience this year and you're a passionate business owner with a message to share, then I would love to help you do that via podcasting. If you're interested in starting a podcast this year, head over to donnaeade.com/apply to register your interest today. Don't forget to hit subscribe where you listen and rate and review the podcast if you've enjoyed it. You can also share this episode with a friend. It is a great way to help the podcast out to get to more listeners just like you. You're listening to the Mindset and Action Podcast, the place to be to grow and streamline your business. I'm your host, Donna Eade. Let's jump into the show. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone, for another Mindset Monday mini. And I think I've probably said those three words in three different orders so far on these Monday Mindset minis. So one day I might figure out which way I want to do it. But today we have a guest sharing their mindset blocks with us. Leigh, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Donna. Thank you for having me on, and hello to your listeners.
Okay, we are actually doing an episode on Thursday, which is all about vision and overcoming sort of obstacles that get in our way when it comes to creating our vision. So make sure you come back on Thursday for that episode. But before we get there, we've got some very interesting stuff to talk about today. So Leigh, introduce yourself to my listeners, let them know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'm Leigh Woolard. I'm a father of 3 boys and a loving husband as well. Try my very best. I coach people online how to, especially business owners, how to create a vision for their life and their business that they would love, and then how you take the actions to make that happen and become your reality.
Brilliant. I love that. I will have all of Leigh's links in the show notes, guys, so you can go over and connect with him. Where do you like to hang out the most online, Leigh?
YouTube, so there's free videos on YouTube, Instagram, they're probably the 2, or if you're in business and you want to connect on LinkedIn, they're the 3
You're
most.
there as well. Brilliant. Okay, well, we'll make sure that those are linked. Now, being somebody who is in the business of helping people create visions, oftentimes we think, oh, you've got it all together. You will have no worries, no blocks, no issues. But I know that that's not true. I know that we all have things that come up for us. For me, time and time again, it's imposter syndrome, which I talked about on the podcast a little while back. But I would love to know for you, what is the block that has kind of been your biggest hurdle to overcome, and how have you overcome it? Or if you haven't, what are you doing to help you overcome it?
Yeah, absolutely. So mine was definitely fear of failure.
Mm,
So even though I'd made some very bold decisions in my life, i.e., to leave Australia at 19 and go and see the world, although I projected that I didn't have any fear, like a lot of males do, what actually was, I wasn't able to step into making some of the decisions that I needed to make that would take me forward. So one of them being in particular, putting myself out online. I was first of all worried that, if I failed or it didn't work, it would be a reflection on me. And then, a bit like you with the imposter syndrome, what if I'm judged?
mm,
And although and it kept me playing safe for too long. And it wasn't until I actually, again, learned the skills. So I went, okay, how do I reframe this? Okay, now I know how I can get over it. And I love helping people with that one, in particular young adults. I coach my boys' football team, so I've empowered 17 young men to be able to overcome that fear and make mistakes. And when you watch children implement it, it's almost a kick in the pants for you to go, hey, if they can do it, then I need to. So,
absolutely. Absolutely. So with your personal fears of failure, what are some of the things that kind of how did that sort of manifest for you? What things did it stop you doing or get you in the way of you bringing out into the world?
yeah, first of all, it stopped me from, number one, posting on social media, worried about, what if people judge, or what if I'm not very good at it?
Mm,
One of the big things was launching the coaching business. I wanted to have everything perfect before I would step out. And actually, what it did was just prolong the period. I think it was a good year and a half before I actually took the step. And it took me to get to that point where I just went, right, I'm doing it.
Mm,
And actually, that was the best thing, because now, whenever I'm doing something new and it's a bit uncomfortable, I just use that same attitude and say, right, I'm doing it. And I've trained myself, and it took time and steps to be able to go, okay, you're going to make a mistake, but actually, that's the learning lesson and the step. And one, like I said to you before, one of the things is, if I encourage my boys to do it, or the boys that I coach at football, and they go and do it and then get the result, it is the kick in the pants for me to go, right, you need to do it too. And it
yeah.
was one of the best learning curves I went through. Hard, really difficult, but now I do it. I wake up every day excited by there's something going to go wrong today, and I'm going to learn from it. And it's a much better place to live than in that fear, and a fear of failing, or that imposter syndrome, or am I going to be judged? It's not a fun place to live, because it holds you back from getting your message out there, and speaking to the people that really matter, the ones in your inner circle, or the ones you gather along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, are there a couple of things, and you kind of shared in there some of the stuff that you did, but are there a couple of things that you would say if there's somebody out there who's also feeling that fear of failure that's stopping them in the tracks? What are kind of the first steps that, as a coach that teaches people how to sort of move forward with their visions, what would you suggest are their kind of first steps that they should take to sort of move past that and help them to get on the right track?
Number one is, become comfortable that you're going to make mistakes. And those mistakes, you've got to look at them. They're teaching you a lesson
Mm,
as a learning experience. And the quicker you can do that, the quicker you'll get to your destination. So if you've got a vision or a dream or a goal that you want to get to quickly, okay, we all put these time constraints. Great. You need to go out there and make mistakes so you can learn it.
mm,
And I always keep in mind the invention of the light bulb. I had 10,000 failures, but actually there was 10,000 ways it didn't work.
mm,
Okay, well, always keep that in mind. You're not going to have 10,000 failures in your dream or vision. It might be 10, it might be 100, it might be 200, but do you know what? Get started, learn from each of them, get that little bit better. And
mm.
it always, for everybody who does it, always ends up them either achieving the result sooner than they expected, and actually it becomes fun rather than an anchor holding you back.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's really important that when we are sharing these mindset blocks, that we're taking on board these tips that the guests are giving us, that we're hearing, because you never know when you might need it. You never know when that mindset block is going to come up and smack you in the face and go, hey, you thought you got away with this one. So thank you for sharing those tips. Definitely come back on Thursday, guys, because we dive way more into vision and how you can use vision to get you to where you want to be. That's creating vision boards, journaling, setting goals. So we cover it all on Thursday. Thank you so much for your time today, Leigh. I really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure, Donna. Thank you for having me.
Okay, guys, we'll see you on Thursday for our full episode. And until then, bye for now.